So I wanted to thank everybody for joining today's call as we focus on meeting the work groups and continue to build off of everything we did at the OHDSI Symposium and welcoming new people and trying to build the collaboration that we have around our global community. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to returning to Gathertown. Let's go through our community updates. Got some good updates today. First, we'll look at upcoming OHDSI community calls. We have October coming up. Work group updates, Meet the Titans on October 12th. Look at the Legend Type 2 Diabetes study, and then the Trick or Treat call on October 26th. So work group updates. We've had a lot of really great work group updates throughout the year. 4 more coming next week. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have Jake Gilberg leading our first presentation from the Health Equity Work Group. Mike Comedy presenting on clinical trials. Gautam Rao on phenotype development and evaluation. And Adam Black on vaccine vocabulary. So as I mentioned, we've had a number of great work group updates. So these 4 will be next week. Looking forward to that. Thank you to everybody for leading these presentations. All right, a couple shout outs first. One paper I caught, this one titled Toward the Representation of Genomic Data in HL7 FHIR and OMOP CDM. This was in Studies in Health Technology and Informatics. Certainly a paper that is fitting with the OMOP and HL7 FHIR workshop that is coming up. I don't know if anybody is on this call from that paper wants to say anything. Otherwise, we'll have the link on the community calls page. Okay. Any other papers coming out this week that I might have missed? Anything to highlight and share within the community? Okay, a few updates. First, our upcoming work group calls. We have 6 of them before our next community call next week. Starts Thursday with psychiatry, then CDM vocabulary subgroup, electronic health records, clinical trials, and then GIS and the genomic subgroup early next week. Anybody from these work groups want to share anything about what's coming up on this week's agenda, interesting topics of conversation that you've had that might be of interest to the community?
Good morning, this is Melanie from EHR Workgroup.
Hi, Melanie.
Hello. So in our last discussion, Dawn, Paul, Frank, and I were discussing expanding the scope of the Electronic Health Record Working Group. We think it's a little bit too narrow, so we're going to continue that discussion this Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And we're also going to discuss changing the day of that call because 10 a.m. Eastern Time is the afternoon in Europe on a Friday. And we think if we possibly change that day, maybe we'll get more folks coming in. And we're also going to expand our scope. So if anybody's interested in attending to help us redefine our scope and discuss possibilities about changing that time of that call, please join us.
Great, Melanie. Thank you very much. Again, you can learn more about the HR and every other work group later on today, but that would be a great call. Certainly, if you change it, please let us know. Any other work groups want to discuss this week's call?
I believe there is one missing from here, which is the vocabulary subgroup
that's right.
Subgroup of the CDM work group, which is right after this call.
Okay, so that's right. The CDM work group vocabulary right after this call. It's its own subgroup, so we haven't quite figured out how to put that on the webpage, but thank you for bringing that up, Jake. All right, so how do you get access to these groups? This is going to be important as you start to get interest in and learn more about work groups. There's 2 ways to do it. Right on the OHDSI website under Collaborate in MS Teams, this drop head will take you to a Pick Working Group Studies to join. You'll come over to this form, fill out any of the work groups, the regional chapters, studies that you want to be part of, and Elise will get you in the group. You have to be in MS Teams to be able to join these meetings, do the asynchronous chat, file sharing, everything like that. So that's one way. You can also do it right in Teams. the general Odyssey team, there's a tab up at the top, join work groups, chapters. Again, you'll get right to this form. So please, especially after this call, you join a work or you hear about a work group, you're really interested, go right to the website or Teams, fill this out. Let's get you right into these work groups so you can join the meetings, see what's happening, see everything that's available to you there. Get it started as quickly as you can. Okay, one big announcement we have is the release of CDM version 5.4. Claire mentioned this on the forum. I am going to turn it over to Claire now to talk about this a little more.
Yeah, so I won't spend too much time on this, but I just wanted to thank everybody in the CDM working group, especially Don, Melanie, Christian, Frank, Alan, Stephanie, Maxime, Adam, Peter, John, Sam, Chi, and Roger. So I really just wanted to shout those folks out. They really did a lot of hard work to get this out. Now, it is available on GitHub at the tag you see there, and it is also a release. One big thing to note is that we are not releasing all the files as they used to be found. We used to release the master branch, and there would be folders as well as code in there. So when you go to this tag, you'll actually see that zip file. And this zip file actually contains all of the code and DDLs and model specifications for each one of the SQL dialects that we're currently supporting. So it's a little bit different way of delivering this information, but it's still the same model we know and love. And then if you are interested in what those changes are, Craig, if you could switch to the next slide real quick. So I've also added information up on our website here, so you can go to odyssey.github.io/common data model. There's the specifications for each of the tables, and then I also listed out the changes by table. So if you're concerned if you have a certain table that you use more frequently than others, and you want to make sure, if there are any changes, check that out, and it'll just give you very explicit directions as to what was going on in each one. And those should be hopefully really great resources for you. And there are currently, we have, I think, Maxime, I just saw that you updated White Rabbit to support version 5.4, White Rabbit and Rabbit in a Hat. So thank you for that. We're currently working on more support, and as that comes out, we will let you guys know.
Great, thank you, Claire. Now, we had talked about doing a demo to show this a little bit more. We did want to maximize, as I mentioned before, the time for this meeting to look at work groups, but are we thinking possibly sometime in October to have a bit of a demo of 5.4?
Yeah, great call out. Thank you, Craig. So we did, as part of our hackathon that I talked about a couple months ago, we did develop an R package now with the help of all those folks I mentioned. And there's some really great functionality in there. We do plan to add it to our Hades packages. And we have some nice functions that'll just actually instantiate the tables in your environment much easier and much more quickly than it used to be. So yeah, we'll do a demo in an upcoming call.
All right, so we'll when we figure out which date that'll be, we'll make sure to promote it, get the information out to you early, so everybody can make that call. So thank you, Claire. Great job. Thank you to everybody as part of the from the CDM work group who's worked so hard to get this active, and looking forward to having it as part of the community. Okay, Dana mentioned this last week, the HL7 FHIR OMOP workshop that is now this week, but registration is still available. We'll have it on the community calls page. Workshop is Wednesday, Thursday. Concepts that will be explored during the workshop include how to build a community and engage participants, reviewing near-term challenges regarding mapping and other issues, and working to establish a collaboration framework for moving forward, including setup of specific subgroups, to advance individual use cases. So the times, there was a change. So Saturday Wednesday, September 29th is 10 a.m. to noon Eastern time. Thursday, September 30th has been moved. Now that is 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So an extra half hour added on the second day. So this forum post does have the registration links. I'll get it on the community calls page as well. Again, this Wednesday and Thursday.
And I just want to say there are some fantastic quality use cases that will be presented in the workshop, if I do say so myself.
Great. Another plug for the workshop. So please make sure you register and join that. Okay, the Asia Pacific Symposium has been set. It will be November 18th. There's a lot more information to come in terms of specific times, information. We will have a registration link posted to the community calls page today. But this is a kind of a look at what we will be, or what will be presented throughout the day. Again, this will be virtual in MS Teams. A couple new things that we didn't see from the Global Symposium earlier this month, the FHIR and OHDSI collaboration talk from Christian Reich, APAC chapter vision, a lot of great networking sessions for the Asia Pacific community in the morning, and then also the state of the community, the APAC state of the community, and a look at EHDEN. So a lot to be excited about. The registration link, as I said, will be posted. There will be more information posted on the OHDSI website, but we wanted to make sure you had that date, November 18th, 2021. All right, EHDEN announced its next data partner call. That will be October 13th through November 15th. The EHDEN has had 4 open data calls so far and has 98 data partners in 23 countries. So certainly a terrific data network already created by EHDEN, and looking forward to getting that total well into the triple digits. Maybe I'll ask Peter or somebody from EHDEN to discuss this over the next couple weeks. I do want to get to Gathertown here, but maybe a few specifics for people who are newer to EHDEN and to the EHDEN Data Partner Network. But the call will be October 13th through November 15th. All right, we started our OHDSI Social Showcase this week. What is that? That is every presentation from the Symposium Collaborator Showcase has its own day to be shared on our OHDSI Twitter and LinkedIn feeds. You can find both right here on every one of our slides, the Twitter and the LinkedIn page. Each presentation from the Collaborator Showcase has its own dedicated website, so we put that up there with the poster or links to the lightning talk, the software demo. Everything gets put up there. It would be great for people, if you're following, to share our community's work to really get the word out about everything that is happening in the community. So yesterday we started with prediction work led by Jenna Reps. We had a lightning talk today from Keys and Asia. So we'll be doing that for the next few months, as there was over 100 submissions into the Collaborator Showcase this year. So please, again, follow us if you're not already following us on Twitter and LinkedIn, and then share the community work, get the word out of everything that's happening. Okay, the next CBER Best seminar will be October 20th at 11 a.m. We wanted to give you the save the date. There's been a little bit of last minute shuffling, so we're not quite ready to announce the speaker and the title, but it will be Wednesday, October 20th at 11 a.m. Okay, anybody else have any announcements of upcoming work, events, collaboration, opportunities, deadlines, anything like that? Okay, I will take silence as nobody and everybody is ready for Gathertown. So let's move into this area. Today's focus is meeting the work groups. A few facts and ideas, or a few things to know about work groups. We have 27 of them, certainly with the potential for more to come. Prior to the OHDSI Symposium, I counted up in our team's environment, we had about 2,160 participants within all the work groups. That number, just since the OHDSI Symposium, has increased by about 300. So there's a lot of excitement in what's going on in the work groups, certainly over the last month. And as I mentioned, there's potential for more work groups to come. So what we want to do is give you an opportunity to really know what is happening, what are the opportunities, what has been done, what are work groups looking to do. And to do that, we're going to go back to Gathertown. I believe Patrick or Elise has put up the link to Gathertown and the password in the chat.
Posted the link. Password is Odyssey 2021 Journey. Just make sure that when you hang up from this call so that your mic and your camera will work when you jump into Gathertown.
Okay, so if each booth has its own area, you'll see a screen right next to both sides. The blue screen that is on the right side is a presentation, like a slide, an information slide that each group or any group that wanted to made before the symposium. On the left side are all of the work group update videos that were created, or that, the presentations that were made throughout 2021. So basically, any work group that presented during this community call, that video is now available so that, if nobody's there, you still have an opportunity to learn something. So every work group should have an area or somebody to talk to, or at least some way to get some information. So with that, I will close. Anybody who is familiar with Gathertown, you're free to leave, head over there. I will stay here because I know there are probably some new people who may not understand Gathertown. I'm here to answer any questions. And then when everybody heads over, then I'll meet you up in Gathertown. But otherwise, thank you, and look forward to seeing everybody in Gathertown talking about work groups.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks, everybody. See you in Gathertown.